seconds to go. So
Countdown is on.
the countdown is on. So I think we'll
Countdown.
Hey guys, welcome to the show with no name.
We so have to name the show, Pete.
Yeah, I think it's time that we do name the show, but one of the things Nat, like, how cold was it today? Like, I had to get up
cold, bro.
I had to get up really early. It was like 2 degrees. My house was colder. My top of my house was colder than my bottom of my house.
Oh, that's weird.
That is weird, right?
That's totally weird.
And then when I went outside, it was warmer outside.
There'd be some scientific thing there. It's definitely cold. I was saying to someone today, hey, there's been a cold snap. And someone was like, no, actually, Nat, it is a cold snap.
Snap.
A snap.
Snap.
A snap.
Don't have a cold snap. All right, let's just go into the intro. Is your show on?
No.
Andy, our show's gone off.
Andy, the show's off. Are they?
They're not
Okay.
on our pages.
We're on. Hey, so we're meant to have done that with... Okay.
Okay, are we having to... no, we're on.
No, we were meant to have... We practiced that while the intro was going, we'd turn up with our hats on, pretend that they're here.
We are such noobs. I'm sorry. I thought our show had gone off. We did have technical...
There was no tech issues happening here.
Oh my God, I'm just such a spaz. Do I look good?
Your hat is cool.
Okay.
This is what happens when it gets cold.
Okay.
You look cute, P.
Okay. So we're not going to tell you about our hats, but we look cute. So let's just, first, if you guys are watching on the live, welcome. If you guys are watching on the replay, welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. This is a really interactive show. So if you have any questions for either Nat or myself or our guest, who just quietly is amazing, please write them down and we will get to them. We really love their interactions, and if you guys do love our show, we've had such great feedback. I went to an event today with
Did you
Natalie.
wear that hat?
I did not wear this hat, but I probably should have. Like in my wonky. I actually love this.
You're wonky without the hat.
Yeah. I went to a really cool event today with Natalie Cutler-Welsh on Speakers and Authors, and I have to say, Natalie Cutler-Welsh does a very good event. It was
I had
really
FOMO.
good. I know you had FOMO. I had FOMO, and I was there. It was such a good event, and I had so many of the women come up to me, tell me that they watch our show.
Oh, that is cool. Thanks for watching.
That's really cool. So I'm really stoked about that.
But you and I just spoke before, Pete, that we have no name.
No.
So we
and
would
it's
like to
becoming
get a
an
name.
issue. So this is probably something that we should just go into. People are getting a little confused with the Stockhausen show and the show with no name with Nat. So just so if you're listening and you are confused, the Stockhausen show is actually a podcast. So, and I've been doing the podcast for over a year now, nearly possibly 2, maybe a year. Yeah, quite a while. So, but the Stockhausen show is gonna be filmed live.
Yeah.
So it's not like this show. So we are going to name this show, aren't we?
Well, we'd like your guys' help to name the show. Like, what do
Yeah.
you think we should call the show? Give us some ideas. Because you guys are, dedicated to watching us, we'd love to know what you think we could call the show. So we're pretty open to ideas. There's no competition. Just frickin' name our show.
Yeah, we
and we'll give you a
definitely
shout out. Like, let's keep it.
definitely need to. Yeah, it's so funny. John Capos, who I
Chocolate
love and
Johnny.
adore. Chocolate Johnny
Chocolate Johnny's
is
in the
watching
house.
us. So he says I look like a koala. So as a Kiwi, that's kind of an insult, I have to say.
Well, I'm so dedicated to wear my beanie tonight that I wore my hair down.
Yes.
You know,
your
usually
hair's-
it's up and I've got it down tonight, right?
It looks so different, guys.
It does look different.
Jump in and tell us what you think of Nat's hair. It does look crazy.
The hair show.
Things that we have been doing, Nat. Now, we'll just jump into you because
Yes.
it's not all about Pauline.
This is not
It
the
is.
Pauline show.
It's not the Pauline show. But you have bought your card.
Yes. Are these cards I'm shuffling? Are these tarot cards? No. So what these are, Andy's going to do this funny little close-up with me, which is scary, right? Because you'll see some scary things of my face. Get a sign up here much. And a big shout out to Pink and Orewa for printing my cards. 52 cards, a kickback in your back pocket. Pretty much, I've got 52 cards that literally give you inspiration. So Andy, I was trying to be really awesome. So this is why we don't prepare things for the show, because we stuff them up. So basically, there's, Andy, that's not a nice.
Flash sale, I love it.
Just different ways to take action. So over the winter time, you might be like, you're in a funk, you can't get yourself out, and sometimes you don't want to follow any of your business plans. Okay, Andy, we can take that close up away now. That's way too close. So 52 ways to take action in your business, because I know that a lot of women that I coach in their business, it's not the lack of knowledge, it's the lack of doing. So 52 imperfect ways to take action.
And I have to say,
yes.
So I've had the cards. How long have I had the cards? Did I have them on your first set or your
first set?
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I'm a bit of a planner, but sometimes when I am struggling, I'll be like, I'll just shuffle the cards. And they actually sit on my desk, and I do use them quite frequently.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you need to update them. I'm running out of ideas.
You want a second set?
Oh yeah, a second set would be good. I'm a bit, I'm a bit upset that she's got such a new flash set.
Yeah, I might give you some.
I could do with a new set because mine are really used.
But what about you, Pete? I know that you've come back from South America. You're back into a new groove. What are you up to?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I came back I went over with some intentions to change my business, and then I came home, and I think when you've traveled to such an amazing place, you get really despondent with everything, so I came home and I was like, I don't know what to do with my life. And it's so funny, but I went back to my journaling and back to reading stuff that I had sort of wanted, and then obviously I went to Natalie Cutler-Welsh's event today, and it's really sparked me. I mean, we had breakfast, I think
Tuesday.
Was it Tuesday morning? And
because you needed a butt kick.
I needed a bit of a butt kick. So I had been wanting to release my sort of two courses. I have Rebels with a Cause, which is being rebels in business, really.
Yeah.
But what I was struggling with was I have a lot of people who follow me want butt kicks, and they're just personal life. So I quickly took a whole lot of components from Rebels with a Cause and built Be a Rebel. And so I released that by Wednesday. What's today?
Today's
I
Wednesday.
released it by the end of Wednesday. And it's selling really good. So I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm feeling really pumped.
Can we talk about your hair? I know you put a hat on.
Yes, all right. So what's the comment from everyone about my hair?
Wait, I think you love your hair. You're worried about your hair. Why are you worried about your hair?
So, I love it, but
you love the purple and you love the pink, right?
Yeah. So I've never shaved the sides. I think I look like a rebel.
Yeah, I was just and that's actually why I asked so you could go, I'm a rebel with my hair, totally rebel in it.
Yeah, it's funny when you change it's not like a massive drastic change.
No.
Because I've had short hair for quite a long time, but just the shaving of the sides, I'm getting used to it. I love it. I mean, my hairdresser Alana is amazing. She's always daring for me to try new things. I mean, considering I had really, really long hair and never wanted to cut it.
You so need to show us a picture next time. We should actually show pictures of both of us with long hair. I've had long hair too.
Yeah. I mean, I love having short hair, but just the shaving on the sides, you know. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll put this beautiful hat on because we're going to move into our next segment.
Move into our amazing guest.
Actually,
someone said, oh my God, your hair is gorgeous. That's from my 20 friend, Darlene.
Thank you.
Take the hat off, Nat. No, Karen, this is a show about hats.
That's the show name. She's coming up with the show name.
Oh.
I love you.
Is that it?
All right, so we're going to move into our guests. So one of the great things about our show is we have amazing people come in and we get to interview them. And I'm so honoured because our guest Claire is a very special friend of mine. So Claire...
I didn't know she was a friend of yours.
it's so funny because people are like, oh, you should meet Claire. And I'm like, I already know Claire.
Aw, that's cool.
Yeah. So I met Claire, a few years ago now. We met on a meeting, and that was when you were really struggling. Like when I was thinking about it, we met when you were in your struggle.
Where?
Do you remember in the
Remind me.
cafe, whatever it was called? Was it Robert's Cafe?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
I remember
and you
now.
were just transitioning into, you were not sure what you were going to do. So I love the fact that I saw you in that struggle, and then and even though I didn't know you much before that, just seeing you blossom in the way that you've built this passion project. I'm going to call it a passion project because you really searched, when you do something for so long, you can feel despondent and, not sure how to move in. So you've built this beautiful business called Make, Give, Live. And I always say it wrong. But
You got it right.
I know. I always like, which one's first? Is it the give or the live? So it's Make, Give, Live. And it's a beautiful social enterprise and the stuff that you do. So obviously we're wearing hats, which you produce.
Chuck them on the table, babe.
So put it.
Give birth to your
Beautiful
hats.
hats.
So you make amazing products. So I really want you to come on because there's a few things that people don't understand. And one is, what is a social enterprise? But really about the journey of giving up something you've been working on for so long and the anguish of, how did you get to where you are today? So tell us a little bit about you.
I would love to share, and I just want to say thanks so much for having me on the show.
Aw,
We're actually
thank you for
both
coming.
friends, and it's really lovely to be
But
having this.
I
I'm
really,
just pretending we're in this little chat zone of our own here.
yeah. I just want to say I'm the better friend.
Now,
Let's
it's not a
take it
competition.
outside.
yeah. It's a competition.
Yeah, it's certainly been a journey, and I would love to share that and my passion for social enterprise because that's been a big part of my journey.
Yeah.
Through that struggle of being in a career and industry that I'd lost connection with, I sort of got to a bit of a meltdown breaking point where I was forced to just stop and think about what I was doing with my life and why, the big question, why? And I went on this big self-discovery mission. Watched a lot of TED Talks, and at that time got really interested in social enterprise. Started going to a lot of meetups, workshops, meeting people in social enterprise, and having been somebody that's always been in business, learning about the power that we can have as a business to affect, to help solve some of the problems in the world. But I was certainly not one of those, I didn't grow up as one of those people, unlike my sister, who wanted to, bless her, save the world and do all these amazing things and cared deeply about the problems. I was quite narrow-minded and I just was doing what I was doing and I needed to be successful. And it wasn't till that time where I stopped and I guess opened my world to, hey, what if we can all make a difference, and actually learning that finding that way to make a difference in the world can give you a real sense of purpose and just drive you through whatever you're going to do. I went to a TEDx talk as well and was really inspired by a talk about hip operation. This woman helping these old ladies and men, older people, learn hip hop and end up going to the LA World Champs.
I think we mean like hip operation.
Hip operation.
Is it fixing their hips through operations?
No. It's like hip hop for
I was
old
like,
people.
okay, random.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was just so moved by the difference it made to their lives, from going to a place where they felt like they had no purpose anymore and nothing to live for really, to being so amazingly inspired to get up every day and do this thing because they had something to work towards. So all these sort of pieces of the puzzle, really thinking about how I can use my skills and experience to do something good. But this took like months and months to sort of piece together. And it wasn't till quite far in the piece where I sort of thought about my own experience, like what I've really struggled with and how I can help other people with that is I think how most people arrive to finding their purpose. And I knew I needed to be creative again, and I was thinking about the isolation, and then remembered back to my pregnancy when I was so sick and got prenatal depression, which I didn't even know existed. I'd heard a lot about postnatal, but it was just a really awful, scary place. And I remembered the only things that got me through were being around friends, that kind of connection with people, and getting back into knitting, like my grandmother had taught me as a child, but I hadn't done it for years. And then a really good friend, Jenna, I don't know if you're watching, sort of helped me get back into making some things for my baby. And when I couldn't do anything else, I couldn't work, I was just in such a terrible place, just to be able to do something that had a beautiful end result that could make you feel good. I think that's what got me through. And so I started connecting.
Yeah, that's
There's
a cool
all these
connection.
older people out there that get isolated and have all these amazing skills, but maybe they don't know what designs the modern mums who want beautiful knitted things for their babies are into, and how it can be such a social thing. And then realizing, I've always been in business, and years ago I had a knitwear label, and so I know design.
I didn't
and
know
I know
that. That's
really
cool. So that makes sense, Claire.
Yeah, it's like all these
Yeah.
pieces,
Yes.
and if you do the work, but you have to really do the work.
Can you just take us back to help the audience, the connection of the pieces? So was it digital design, so designed website? Can you take us through all the things you've done? Obviously, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
To put those
the
pieces together
the
for
pieces.
us? Yeah.
So that's about the experience and how they could all. I'm trying to remember who it is that says it's easy to connect the dots looking backwards, not so easy forwards. Sometimes in your life you think, what am I doing?
Steve Jobs said that.
It was Steve Jobs,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. It's one of my favourite speeches.
Yeah, it was a great speech, and it's so true. So I'd done this digital marketing online stuff, and I'd had my own knitwear label, and I'd done a lot of customer service in certain roles. So I really understood people in sales. Those were the main ones that sort of contributed to it. But I'd always been creative. Like since a kid, I was making things into every single kind of craft you could imagine. So I knew deep down, that little voice in the back of my head, I needed to get back into that again.
But was there any connection? The prenatal,
Yeah.
you went to the knitting to give you a purpose. Was there any connection between when you were because I met you when you were still online designing, and you came to a vision board workshop with Michelle, and you had this vision. I remember going, like back then, I don't know if it's 3 years ago, like your vision of the social enterprise of getting people together. I was like, man, this lady is such a big thinker and creative dreamer, and now you're actually living it. But to go back to that, do you think it was you were in the same kind of, not depression, that took you to the same space of, I need to go back to my purpose and my why and find something to do?
Yeah. I was back in that depression.
Yeah.
It was, right down, as pretty low as you can go. And I think, that's what really makes you stop and think. And for me, one of the biggest catalysts in that was the Simon Sinek video. For anybody who hasn't watched it, the Power of Why.
That's amazing.
Just to get back to that. And I was talking to a lovely friend, Lynn, earlier, and we were just talking about how you can't just sit down and think, what's my purpose, and wait for it to come to you.
Yeah.
And that's another message I really want to get across. Like, you just have to start. Don't sit there and think, I have to be successful in this business and make $1 million before I can find my purpose or do any good, or I don't know what my purpose is yet, so I can't start. I haven't got it all figured out. And I know you'll be both big believers in that. Like, once you have the idea and you start the action and you start moving, it's that action that creates clarity. So you start going down a track that you feel something with, and you might not have it all figured out, but as you go, things will come up along the way that will just go, that's why I'm doing it. And when that thing comes, like for me, when I realized I could help people through mental health, depression, ease isolation with this idea I dreamt up, it was just, you just feel it inside, like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm meant to do. And when you're aligned with that and working towards that, that's like gets you up every morning. That it's really hard to lose sight of why you're doing what you do when it's something so powerful and you see in the results and how it's affecting people every day. But don't get me wrong, there's not hard times. It's not all roses.
Sounds amazing.
No,
It does. I'm like, can I join?
no, there are not those hard times where, you know, you're in the middle of it going, man, this is hard. And there's always that need. There's always that need to look back and reconnect in with your purpose. And
so think like for people who are listening, how does the business work? Just so, because we're talking about a community. I know when I talk to you, that the power of connection, like some of the things that you're doing is like getting, you know, women together to knit and do that whole craft of knitting and talking and telling stories. I mean, that just there is beautiful. Do you want to explain to our audience what is your business? And we've talked about social enterprise.
Yeah. So at its core, our purpose is easing isolation and improving mental health and well-being.
Yep.
And we do that through the therapies of social connection and the knitting and crochet. So we have groups of ladies that get together usually every week. One of them is fortnightly in their local cafe or community hub. And they just there for a couple of hours, enjoy each other's company, a good chat, and make these beanies that we sell as buy one, give one. So for each one we sell, we give one to a Kiwi in need, homeless or older people. We now do give to babies and children as well. And that just really adds that sense of purpose for the makers as well. And so they come along and we provide everything. There's no cost. They choose what they want to be making, whether they're a confident maker, they want to make ones to sell, whether they want to just do ones to give, and they swap between. Sometimes there's not that much making that gets done in the sessions because it's more about the talking. You see them trying to count these stitches. It's like just enjoy each other's company, and then they take their projects home and can finish them at home and bring them back the next week. But the real magic in it is that it's intergenerational and it's people of all ages and backgrounds that just come together with this shared kind of passion and purpose just to be together, which I think we so lose track of these days. We're so busy, we're so tied up in our digital devices and going here and going there, and you know, just to sit down and spend time with people and value them, I think is just so important, and that's the real magic that I love about it. And also the skill sharing. Like I love it when a younger maker who might have been self-taught on YouTube, we've got some amazing mums of young kiddies that come along, and when they teach one of the older ladies that's been knitting for 30 years a new trick, and they're like, oh, cool. I've been knitting for this long, I never knew I could do it like that, and you just see them come alive. And you know, you hear them talk about, I hang out for this, like I live for my Wednesday morning hanging out with my people, and after 2 years of meeting together every week, you become like family, you know. They support each other outside of the groups, they've got each other's back. Do
you ever take a moment and actually go, holy shit, I've done this? Because I'm like, we remember going, this used to be a vision board, used to be on your vision board, and the mindset, attitude change you have to have done to get here. Like I was thinking on the way here to myself, what's one word that I would use to describe you? And it's I don't even know if it's the right English, but we roll with it, right? It's imperfect action. It's tenacity.
Tenacity.
You are actually a dictionary version of 100% committed. You've put so much into this. Blood, sweat, tears.
That's so kind, and you're so right. I do lose track of it. Like I'm still so committed to that vision that I hold out there, and there's so much more I want to do that I definitely do need to look back and appreciate how far we've come. And I just want to really emphasize the we there, because I have not done this alone. I have an amazing team now. There's sort of 4 women in key roles now that I work really closely with, and others that do, you know, more than just the making and the sessions. There's group leaders that run those groups, and people that volunteer and help out getting orders out and all sorts of things. So it's been amazing how with the vision and purpose and putting it out there, it's drawn all these amazing people to what we're doing. Like, I didn't go out and seek them. They've just been drawn to wanting to help us deliver our purpose. And that's really special as well.
Do you think, though, that you would have delegated as easily if it was a standard business, but because it's a social enterprise, you've got people coming to you, you feel like you've been able to delegate as a business, still a businesswoman, differently?
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
It's a really different balance. I mean, that's the thing with social enterprise. It's not charity and it's not business.
Yeah,
it's
tell us
somewhere in
about
between. And so it is a real balancing act, because to be successful, both have to be strong. So a charity traditionally relies on grants and donations to deliver the impact that they're trying to achieve. And a business, we all know what business is, trades to make profit. Whereas a social enterprise is purpose-driven, so it exists to solve a social or environmental problem, but it trades like a business to sustain that and deliver that impact. And that's where the real power lies, but that's also where a bit of the struggle and balance lies, in that, we are delivering these amazing quality beanies. We wholesale into retailers now, so the quality has to be beautiful, and we somehow have to juggle supply and demand.
Yeah, wow.
But at the same time, there is no pressure on any of our makers to produce a certain amount a week, or just no pressure whatsoever. And other roles that are volunteer as well. You don't have that kind of cut and dry.
You're fired.
Or this is the job, you need to do it within this time.
Yeah.
But that is the beauty of it as well. So you just have to roll with that. And we've created a really beautiful, flexible model where our suppliers, our retailers, everybody appreciates that this is how we do things. It's focused around our makers and easing isolation and improving mental health and well-being. So there's things we do differently.
You've had to do some pretty big things out of your comfort zone to get funds, like personal funds you've had to drive in, selling of homes, marriage that will come to, and some burnout, right? But also you've had to stand up and do your own campaigns like you did. It wasn't a competition. I can't quite remember the name. But you've had to stand up in groups of people and try and sell your concept to get funds. Like, that is huge. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's been a big learning curve. Definitely had to put my brave pants on once or twice. But yeah, when you believe in it so much, I can't explain the difference between when I had my knitwear label and I was out there selling it to make profit for myself, versus when I'm out there pitching for this vision and impact that I believe in so strongly. It's not about me. It's about what we as a collective are going to do for our people. And so you just step into this zone where you're like,
cool.
You just get this energy, and when you believe in it so much, it's not hard to talk about or sell. But yeah, I won an Idealog Creative Kickstart campaign, and I've done a Pledge Me campaign, and finalists in a Rotary Akina social enterprise thing. So yeah, it's definitely pushed the boundaries of what I thought possible in myself.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud to lead the team that I have behind me and what we're trying to create in the world. So yeah,
it's pretty freaking cool.
That's amazing. Like, seriously, just you talking about it is just the fact that your business is just about affecting change in everyday New Zealanders' lives and not having them isolated. And, you're not constantly focused on money. It's all about community, bringing the community together. And you've designed an amazing community who are very much behind you and love you and support you. And I don't think you realize, like, when you think about where you've come from, like how many times, you really need to look back and what you've done, making a change in one person's life. especially if you're isolated and you have depression. You know, giving those tangible things outlet for them to be creative, especially when, you know, they can't think maybe a few hours ahead. Not that everyone who's in there is depressed or anything, but you're opening the door to people to be like, you know, come in, welcome, you know, this is what we're doing. And the fact that you've got, I mean, I just think it's amazing the fact that you've got this give one, you know, make one, give one, buy one, give one. You know, who are you giving them to? Like, for people who are listening, I mean, where are those going? What sort of campaigns have you done?
We've broadened that out a bit now, but last year and when we started, Age Concern Auckland were a big supporter, so we gave some to them to give to older people in need, but we were visiting a lot of older age housing complexes and taking them there, and I took my daughter once, and I just felt so privileged to be the giver sometimes, and I wish that I could take all the makers there to feel that gratitude that you get from them. Like, they just can't believe that somebody made this for them. There's no cost. Wow. Somebody just cared enough. And, you know, you see tears and the smiles and all the multitude of everything you get from doing that. And I've done a session of delivering to homeless people as well. It was really touching, but we often give boxes to Lifewise. They're one of our other major partners who give to homeless people. But actually what we love to do, and we're in talks with Lifewise and a lady 6 I met recently who has been homeless and wants to do, like, really passionate about getting a group going in Merge Cafe on K Road, where they do a lot of meals for homeless people, and just to get a group going in there to sort of complete that circle and teach them some skills and build that community there. That's the other side of our impact, is not just our groups where ladies come together who might be struggling with isolation or depression, or they might just
love to knit and
have big hearts and want to give back. And that balance works really well because everybody's there for their own reasons. But we also do programs where a couple of confident, good teachers will go into organisations where the therapy is really needed. So we're doing a program at the moment with a charity called A Girl Called Hope on the North Shore that takes in young women with that have been through some really, really tough stuff, and they live in there for a while they transition. And so a couple of our ladies go in one night a week and teach them knitting. And last winter I had such an amazing sort of result and feedback from that we're back in doing that. But the potential for what we want to do is huge. Like, we're not short of ideas. We can just only grow at a rate that we can manage. But we'd love to get more backing behind us. Love to get into prisons, you know, teaching in there. Yeah, the possibilities are kind of endless.
How do you think? You know, a lot of the ladies who are watching tonight, they aren't social enterprise. They're businesswomen like P and I. We trade for ourselves. We are purely out for profit. That sounds wrong now that I've said like that. But, you know, the mission is different. The mission is I need to make money so I don't have to go get a job. And I totally get it that is the same for a social enterprise. But what else can we do as opposed to being tacky and tacking on a charity to the end of our business so that we look like we're giving back? What can we do now to not be a social enterprise but be more than just tacking on a charity to the end of it?
Yeah, I think that actually us as women in business have a huge opportunity here because, you know, we're driven a lot by heart. We are caring by nature, that there are so many opportunities. The world is actually a pretty messed up place. You don't have to look much further than the World Sustainable Development Goals to see that we're facing some pretty huge issues. And it's really easy, because I've been there, to be oblivious, and to be in your zone of just day-to-day life. And those problems are over there and somebody else will solve them. And so I just think there's such an opportunity to really do that work on yourself about what it is you're passionate about, like what it is you really care about. And especially us as mothers, we really care what world we're leaving behind for our children.
Yeah.
When they grow up, they're going to say, so look at the world now. What did you do about it? That's a huge driver for me in terms of doing something. And I think there is definitely value in just giving to charity. Absolutely. Every cent that charity gets matters. But if, there's different levels that you can do. And if it's that, just try and choose something that really aligns with your values.
Yeah, that's good.
And that you can support longer term and build a relationship with and collaborate with, not just throw a little bit of money at every now and then. And I see a lot of people through some of the women's networking groups that I'm in really asking those questions, like, I'm looking for a charity to support, and doing some of that groundwork. And I think that's really valuable. But could you take it that step further and build a social enterprise around it, You still have to have a really strong business and an amazing product or service that you're offering. That still has to stand alone. Can't be like, buy my crappy beanie because we're going to give one to a homeless person and have that kind of, begging element to it. Like, a lot of people who come across our beanies will buy them based on their beautiful, pure New Zealand wool, hand-knitted and amazing product. And then they learn about the good that we do and they're wow, how would you not? And I also just think today's the conscious level of consumers these days is just on the rise. And they know, and they're not going to support big corporates who are about the profit, who might say they support this charity. But consumers and employees and everybody out there now is getting so much more clued up on, the whole value chain, supply chain. And it can be those simple things, like build those values into your business. Do you support other women in business? I know both of you do.
No, we don't support other people either.
I don't know.
Do you buy New Zealand made products?
Yes, totally.
Do you use recyclable, sustainable packaging? Do you it's been
it's one
really
of those things, like, it's
on
offer,
values.
you totally will. It's like the supermarket's going, we're going to ban plastic bags. Or you're going to ban the frickin' plastic my cucumbers wrapped in.
Yeah.
Bring back the paper bag, man.
Exactly. Bring back the paper bag. Don't get me started on plastic.
Okay. That's a subject that maybe we shouldn't talk about. But I think we as New Zealanders, I was very oblivious as well, even with my buying. And over the last 2 years or 3 years, I've become very conscious of, being minimalistic, purchasing things I only need, recycling. I'm doing a lot of recycling, not buying brand new. And then if I am buying, making sure that it's, a conscious effort. I'm buying, good New Zealand products and spending that little bit more to make sure that, I'm supporting with the New Zealand businesses as well. But, when I was younger, I couldn't have cared less.
I know, yeah. And it is only recently that we're becoming a lot more conscious. But if you have the choice of, a beanie that's made beautiful in China and...
let's just look. I'm pretty sure this is coming home with me.
But I think you're right, though. I think as consumers, if we have the chance to be a better buyer, we want it.
Yeah, we have the choice.
We actually want that. Yeah.
It's not just in our businesses, but it's in our everyday purchases that we have the power to affect change.
That's right.
And I think as a collective, we can all sort of
Let's go
do it. Yeah.
So those who have joined us and who are watching our show, we love that you're here with us.
Thank you.
If you guys have got any questions for Claire, now's the time to ask them. I don't know if you've got any questions.
I've just got lots of statements. He hates people on tonight, not to freak you out, Claire. There's lots of people joining in. Claire was really freaked.
Oh, you're so cute. I'm just going to pretend I'm in a room with you.
Dude, you've stood up and had to pitch yourself. This show's going to be easy. And so, Julia, this is insane how pertinent to me this conversation is. It is something that is weighing on my heart to be involved in a charity and align myself with my business with. And it is so true that it has to be a charity that resonates with you and you feel a connection to. So just by having this conversation tonight, and even I was just listening to you going, yeah, I'm wanting to do stuff as well. I know that P would be, and lots of the people who watch us. So it's really great that you helped us know, well, what can we do now and take it that step further. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's almost like, I'm not going to say this, but it's almost like having you on tonight was kind of pivotal for me, because I've just decided to, and I don't want to do it, but I want to do an event. But just even when you're talking, I was like, oh my God, that's right. I so love that brand. So, even, something like, I can't give my time all the time. Well, I probably could, but I'm too lazy. But, and I can't knit, but I can. But
you're so paradoxing right now.
I can knit. I can make the best scarf. I make the best scarves.
Right, so
I got rid of all my needles, but that was my art days when I ran the art school. But like something that I could do is like all the proceeds from my event could go to Make Give Live to help you buy wool, right? But can people do that? Is that okay?
Absolutely, absolutely. No, we do appreciate the support, but it's. And we are not about not making money either. We've, as a social enterprise, we've also got to move away from that charity mindset that we have to do everything on a shoestring.
Yeah, you're right.
It's about the more money we make, the more impact we make. Yeah. So we can do more programs and more organizations that need our help. We can do more giving. We can enable more groups to run. Like, I would love to have groups in all towns and major centres around New Zealand. Like, our vision for the model is to have the making, giving and selling happen within little communities, and we're about to start that in Christchurch.
Wow.
So local retailer supporting a local group to make beanies for their store, and then empower that group to decide where in their community they need to do the giving to, because nobody knows it like they do. And so, there's so much we want to do, but we can't do it on a shoestring. So it's for profit, for good. And there are different levels of social enterprise. Some are for profit for shareholders. Some are not for profits. There are all sorts of mixes, but it's just about using trade as a business to create impact.
So can you take us through a little bit of the business model in terms of money? And I get that it's an uncomfortable space, but I think it's something really powerful to talk about, because it's something that I don't know a huge amount about with social enterprise business model. So for you as the business owner, and it's about profits as well, how does it work? Is it that you pay people to help you? Do you have to invest your own money in? Are you able to talk through a little bit of that just to help with understanding?
Sure. I started with nothing. So it was off my own back that I got it going, just from small, buy a little bit of wool, convince Age Concern Auckland to give me a little bit of money to buy a little bit of wool, and it just grew organically, and I really enjoyed that process of it. But the goal was always to create a living for myself, so that
we have to pay your bills.
I wanted to do something really meaningful with my life, but that could sustain me, so that I could deliver all this impact, but that I could also live and pay bills. And I don't mean extravagantly, like I'm building a tiny house, because I want to live really simply, and these are my values. But just like any charity, there are people that do get paid for key roles.
Yeah, okay.
Like you can have you have volunteers. They don't have that level of commitment or responsibility. And so there's key roles within Make Give Live that we're working towards paying fair market rates for. I mean, we are nowhere near there. We have put in blood, sweat, love and tears, and only recently started paying ourselves a little bit to, try to work towards building up to that. But it is possible, and we could go down the route of incorporating as a charity as well, and access other funding to kind of run alongside grants and donations to run alongside what we're doing in terms of selling the beanies. And we probably will look at doing that, because we just see so much potential for how much more we could be doing if we had that extra funding. So we don't want to hold ourselves back, because we can only grow at a rate, and look at investment and how other businesses can come on and support what we're doing as well, So there are lots of ways to funding, but it is really important to be sustainable in terms of the people who are putting in the day-to-day energy, those key roles that are so important, vital to keep it going, need to be sustained and live as well. So, I remember someone talking about it as having two legs, the business and the charity, and they both have to be really strong. Otherwise you can't move forward.
But businesses like entrepreneurs like Nat and I, we could donate money or wool to help you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's good. That's good to know.
I like what you said before about even though it's a social enterprise, it's still a business. So you still have to go on a business journey and have the ups and the downs.
Yeah.
Do you want to share some of your huge ups and your huge downs?
It's like business is hard enough, but add
social
social enterprise, and it's like, it's just a real balancing act. Highs are just seeing the impact, just seeing the people and hearing the stories of what we're creating. The lows are just when you feel like, you can't go on. I guess for me it's been some personal struggles lately. You're not paying yourself much money, so it's like...
It must impact relationships. It must impact the support crew. It must have huge impacts because it's so passion driven. It's not like you just got to go get a job because you're so connected in the heart to it.
Yeah, exactly. There have definitely been times where I'm like, I should just go and get a job. This is too hard. So many groups to keep going and to keep up with, ensuring they have enough wool, and there's so many different roles within it, and especially when it was just me mostly, it was a lot to juggle, and I'm so grateful to have had a lot more help recently, especially through this difficult personal time, that they've all carried us forward. They can...
But the highs outweigh the lows always, right?
Absolutely. I would not be doing this. This is why I get up in the morning, and I just see so much potential for it. I was just had a team meeting this morning, and we were just all got so aligned again with why we're doing this, and seeing the potential. I mean, we got an amazing stockist on board called Kilt Clothing. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're in New Zealand, women's clothing brand. And I've known Melissa, the owner, since her first little store in Palmerston North. She stocked my knitwear brand, and now she has 14 stores around New Zealand.
Good relationship to have kept there.
Wow. No, I'm just so grateful to be in there because, again, our values are so aligned.
Yeah.
And, they gave us a small order to kind of test it out, see if the customers were really into it. And it is flying out the door.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And the orders are just, top this up. And then I said, we've only got this much wool to do more of those. And then they pre-sold those already. And so, it's just amazing to be on the cusp of making a real change around a lot of our beautiful country for a lot of people, and that just really floats my
It helps
boat.
that you look amazing in a beanie, though. Can I just say? Every time I see you have a different beanie on, I'm like, damn, she looks good
And
in
they're
her beanies.
really warm.
My head is hot.
Yeah,
I've
they're
got
really
a hot
toasty.
head.
I feel great. And,
with the
one of
lights
the things
on.
about Claire is her colour design. Her colour choice. I always give her, are we going to go outside of grey and white?
Oh, my makers have me up about this all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Claire, try the purple one on for everyone.
Okay.
To get you out of
Here we go, some colour. But this is beautiful colour.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
We asked about
that
that.
my lovely Becky let me wear this evening.
The colours are fantastic. And I got to see you at one of the stalls, and the way that you have designed the stalls at the markets.
Amazing.
It's just
You're so clever.
the way that you design everything is just
you're
brilliant.
sweet ladies.
Come on the show. We'll stroke your ego. We'll make you feel
we
good.
make you feel great.
I just really like a really
you suit that
Kinda
colour.
did that as well.
Stop
We could be
it.
twinning.
It's disgusting.
Twinning.
Disgusting. I'm so
Matching your hair.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I like about them, and I know this is like very ego fashion stuff. But you even go to the detail where, if I didn't want to wear my pom-pom tomorrow, it has a button I can take it off. So you
Or
don't
when you
have
wash
to have
it?
And I can,
really?
you know, and that's what I really appreciate about that's the thoughtfulness that goes into your stuff, which is really, really cool.
They're just so cute. They're so cool. So,
Thank
I mean,
you.
I know we've all been dying to talk about it. I know.
No, I'm not
We're
allowed
just
to let you talk about it.
dying to have a little chat.
Before
little-
you do, because these guys could go on a freaking tangent, people, and it could be here for another hour. Yeah, these guys.
I know, she's
Nat's
like,
on to
whatever
us.
you do, don't talk about it.
I was like, you can talk about it at the end if you've been good. Claire, you've got some top tips.
I do have a few
Oh,
tips.
what are your top tips?
But I did just make a couple of...
You're in a
I
I can
did just
share
make
them
a
all
couple
because
of
I'll type them
notes.
as you go, or you can, after the show, go back and type them up, because are they top tips for people who want to get into social enterprise or businesswomen?
It applies to business as well.
Yep.
Number one is facilitate finding your why and purpose. Like I said
Ooh,
before, it's
nice.
really hard to just sit down and think, right, I'm going to find my why or my purpose. Like, facilitate starting small, but starting.
Yeah,
Don't just
that's
wait
nice.
till everything's aligned. You're a big talker of that, Nat. Just imperfect action.
Yes,
That's what we're about.
brainwash
Yeah.
the community.
Number two was find your tribe and collaborate. When you're
Nice.
out there doing impact stuff, you're not alone. So find out the others in your area who are creating change and collaborate with them. That's the beautiful thing about social enterprise, is you're not in competition. You're all out to achieve the same
Oh.
impact and goals. So
That's
it's-
cool.
Yeah, it's about seeing how you can complement each other, collaborate, and work towards that collective impact is really powerful. Set your values and stay true to them. So really think hard about 3 or 4 key values that you're going to operate your business or social enterprise from, and go into detail. Like, they're not just words that stick on the wall. Like, think about what actions you and your team do that
love that.
align with those
That's really
those
nice.
values, and what actions would not align with those values. So you're really specific. So if you're all about inclusion, you can just make examples. It just makes you more aware of your actions. If I, make these decisions that affect these people and don't include them in the conversation, that's, not aligning with my value of inclusion or whatever it might be. But just be really strong on those, because those can really anchor you and guide you in a lot of what you do.
I think that's great. I mean, those can be really used for everyday business as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can all,
Yeah, definitely. Make your product or service stand on its own. I did touch on that earlier. So, it's still
Yeah, I
got to
like
be...
that. It's like product or service first. Like, it's got to be awesome. It
Exactly.
can't just be...
It has to be awesome, strong, stand on its own, because that's how you're going to make it successful and create the profit for the good that you're doing. Really listen, be consumer centric. You're there to serve. So, and this is about any business, it's really easy to, when you get feedback or criticism, get on the defensive and sort of say yeah, and then be quick with the reply. But I would just encourage people to really listen. If you're delivering some impact, it's, you have to be really attuned to the people or impact you're trying to create, but also the consumer. Failures are just opportunities to learn. We all have failures along the way, so just not to get too hung up and stuck in them. Just go, well, what did I learn from that? And pick yourself up and move on. Building a support network, so advisors or a mentor or somebody that you just lean on and can go to. We've recently established an advisory board for Make Give Live, and that
that's
is
cool.
just so powerful and really helpful for guiding us in the right direction, and just support. Hold the vision and trust the process.
I love that.
I think we have to thank Lynn Hunt for that one. She posted that a little while ago. Shout out to all the work she's doing to help prevent suicide in New Zealand. That's a big one. Oh, there's a lot of people I wanted to shout out for doing amazing things.
Oh,
But
see?
I'll
You
do
just
that. I'll
naturally
do
wanna
that in
give.
the
It's so
comments.
beautiful.
Yeah,
No, but let's just move on to the next
yeah,
topic.
yeah.
No, stop it.
Wow, everyone's
she's gonna-
waiting.
The
No,
last
you're not
one
the
was to the last one was
Oh, the
to
last one.
enjoy it and find the gratitude in it. Like, and I'm terrible for this. My sister will tell you. I'm always like, I got to do this. I didn't do this.
It's the
You're so
businesswoman
focused.
commitment.
Yeah, commitment. But actually sit back and enjoy the process. Like you've been mirroring back to me tonight saying how amazing this is. It's really amazing to have that mirrored back to me and realize that, and I don't do it enough. So thanks. Yeah, those are my tips.
Amazing tips. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so these guys have been going on and on and on about a concept called, isn't it called giant houses?
Tiny houses.
Tiny houses.
Tiny houses.
We're all about the
We're
tiny houses.
addicted about tiny houses.
You guys are funny.
Yeah, we even sort of found some land that we thought we could have both been on. That didn't eventuate, but we're still sort of
moving
moving alongside
direction.
each other,
Yeah.
finding our ways. How was
Yeah,
yours
so
going? How's yours going?
yeah, mine's a bit slow. I have designed it, and I know the exact design I want. So, but yeah, I'm just not sure. I think I'm gonna spend a few months designing and kitting out a van and travel around New Zealand. So because I need to New Zealand. Just so I am still doing the tiny house, but it's going to be delayed just because I've got to think about my son and just his diagnosis and maybe give him the opportunity. He does not want to come in a van with me.
Well,
So I'm just
Too close, Mum. Too
yeah,
close.
yeah, he's like, piss off. So I've just got to work on that. But yeah, no, I am a big advocate for tiny houses. I just think, I mean, ever since I've moved to my smaller house, I just think we do not need big spaces.
Absolutely. So easy to clean, so much more cost effective. Like everything's at your fingertips.
Yeah, like I'm a real consumer, and I've changed. I'm not so much consuming anymore. What about you? Where are we up to?
when's the house party? Do you have house
Still a
parties in
while off.
tiny houses?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Build a big deck out the front of them.
Yeah.
I'm back to sort of having a lot of options in front of me, sort of gone down some routes that haven't quite got me there, and now I have a few more options to look at.
But yours is happening. You've bought the trailer and it is in the process of being built. Like it's actually happening. It's just the location that's
actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody in Whangaparoa has a spare piece of land, that wouldn't mind a little bit of extra.
So I was
extra rent for a dormant piece of land.
I was watching something the other day, and they said, "Don't worry about the location. Start building it.
Yeah,
Talk about your journey. The location will come."
That's what I'm doing.
Either that or she's going to park out the front of your place.
And I'm going to make little flyers.
I think there's space at the bottom of my property, but getting it to the bottom of the property is a bit of a
tricky one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could totally do that.
Yeah. No, I'm going to make little flyers about Chloe and I and my story and what we're about, and sort of mail drop them in the areas where we'd like to live with our big pieces of land.
So this is really living and breathing the values of the social enterprise, right?
Yeah. To me, it's about the end game, and it was a very powerful exercise I did a few years ago. Like, what do you want people to say at your funeral? What do you want to be known, like, what's your legacy? What do you want to be known for? Or, what would you feel at the end? Like, what would you value? And it's never about the stuff or the house or the car or the all these things that society says we need. It's about, that you are proud of what you did and the relationships that you had and the life you lived. And so however I can do that in a sustainable, simple, to me it's about spending time with Chloe, not giving her a huge house and lots of stuff, I'm so enjoying downsizing all our stuff. Like, it's such an amazing process, and I want it to be about the memories and the holidays, and that's what I want to save money for, not to just
I totally
waste
agree.
on rental
Mine's all
mortgage.
about no regrets.
Yeah, no regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, living life to the fullest and traveling and memories.
So interesting.
I'm definitely all about that as well.
So you know how we get guests on, they go, man, are we going to be able to fill an hour? Like, it's 9:00.
Yeah.
Like, I know. People always go, seriously, we're not going to be able to talk that long. We're like, we guarantee you'll be like, we need another show. I didn't say everything I wanted to say.
Yeah.
There
was
for
more
us,
in my tank.
For us, you've come across exceptionally well. But is there anything that you're like, oh, we didn't talk about this, I want to say this, then now's your time. It's your open mic moment.
I think I just want to give a general shout out, because I won't have time to do individually, but all the amazing friends and people that have my tribe who are doing amazing things in New Zealand and the world to make a difference and to have some impact, however that is. And some of them so successfully in a business sense and huge impact, and some of them just starting that journey and doing it tough and thinking, how am I going to make this work? But I just want to give a shout out to all those amazing people and friends, people I'm so glad to call friends, who are, doing it, out there doing it. And to every small business, woman in business who's out there doing the best they can to put the food on the table for their families, be there for their children. Isn't that why a lot of us do it in the first place? Like, not be tied into that corporate world, but just,
Some local peeps want to know where they can get a hat from. My local friends. Shout out to the locals.
Local friends. We pretty much live in the Whangaparoa Community Hub, and our group is in there every Thursday morning. But Two Spoons Cafe, that's got to be one of our
Two
all-time
Spoons.
favorites. Shout out to
Maybe they should sponsor the
Trish
show.
and
We have
Nigel,
nibbles.
we love you.
Yes, nibbles.
Two Spoons want to sponsor us. You can give us nibbles for our guests.
Yeah, we have our sessions in there sometimes as well, and they stock a selection of our beanies, so please go and support them. But there is a wider collection. We do sell online, and just get in touch.
And so the website is
makegivelove.com. Yeah.
So go check them out, and you can purchase online.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Seriously
Well
cool. It's magic. Thank you.
I just want to go do more.
Thank you, lady.
Like, I'm just like, I just need to do more. Like,
I just like how Claire enabled us to be able to. What is the more?
yeah.
To look past here's some money for a charity. It's to look past that.
Yeah,
The
just
next level is great.
make it meaningful
Yeah.
to you. And I hope that did come across well, because I definitely didn't want to make anybody feel like they weren't doing enough.
No,
every
not at all.
dollar towards charity counts. And even if it's not in your business, find something in your community that you see needs some help, or some other small way to give. Like, every bit does count. And so
That's right.
the more we can collectively do, just know that every action you make does count. Never feel like I'm just one person. It doesn't matter. Just know that every single one of us and the collective action that we have is where the change happens.
And as parents, if you've got children or grandchildren, or you're a step parent or auntie, uncle, grandfather, grandmother, we also have the opportunity for the next generation, because they're watching us too, and because
Exactly.
the schools are doing such collective work now that the kids are like, why don't you have your metal straw? Like, they're starting to think very, very differently too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. All about the next generation as well.
Yeah.
And, they're going to be asking questions.
You look cute in that hat. The
I
double
know.
hat.
I was thinking I look cute in this hat too.
It's like
You
a
do.
Viking. It's
I
like a
love it on
Viking.
you.
I love it too. I seem to always get.
This is
Things
actually
with
my
ears.
hat. This is actually my hat tonight. Hey, thank you so much, Claire.
I just
It's
would
been
like to
amazing.
say this
Thank
is
you,
my
ladies.
hat.
Anyway, remember to name the show. Spread the word, peeps. We need the
Yes.
show's name.
We do
Yeah,
need to.
I'm sure we can
name
think
the
of something
show.
creative.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Put
something
thinking
cool,
caps
like
on.
Make, Give, Live show. Like something that's got 3 words in it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us something, people.
That's right.
I'll
All right,
sleep
so
on
if
it.
you guys enjoy our show, please, I never like to say this, but please like and share it.
Please like me.
Yeah, like us and share it, because it does, the more people that watch it, it just gives us a bit of a boost, and the more, just the more people we can help to their
They're
businesses.
amazing doing this every Wednesday night
Yeah.
to share some gems with all of you. I just think it's amazing that you give up your time.
I nearly didn't make it. Nat doesn't know, but I nearly did.
I would have dragged you out.
Because I was in the city and I didn't.
I said to you, don't leave late, you'll get caught in traffic.
Yeah, so I left at 4:45.
You're so
And
bad.
I was just like driving, I'm not going to make it. And yeah, so I got in, quickly changed. Bryn's like, dinner? I'm like, nah, Nat's going to be here. And just as I thought I'd run out and check, and just as I checked, you pulled up. I was like, made it.
Nice.
Yes, I'm
it
quite
was
stoked.
pretty cold tonight, I have to say, that at about 5:30 I'm like, man, it's cold, and you're snuggly and you're warm, but I think because Pauline and I are starting to realise that it's the guests we bring on. Yes,
Yeah.
we're kind of entertaining and we have we've got the platform, but it's actually the guests who are making a huge impact, because they're backing up what we say as business coaches.
Yeah.
So it's so amazing that you actually just reiterate what we stand for.
And I do want to say I've worked with both of you, and
Aw.
you've both helped me hugely along the journey, and I really mean that. I have got such gems from both of you that have absolutely hugely contributed to Make, Give, Live. And I think for all the women in business and service, it's also about, the impact that you're having on your clients as well, and the further impact, the ripple effect that's having is huge. So
Thank
you,
you.
ladies.
But I think it's
can't
nice
believe
for
it.
us to see that it is that impact, and I think that's listening to you today, I was like, yeah, man, we're impacting
I'm
people.
some of your impact.
And it's a surprise of people who watch our show,
Yeah.
I always forget that this is a bigger network. Like when I was in Northcote the other day, and someone, I was in a dairy, and someone said, "Oh, are you Pauline Stockhausen?" And I was like, "Yeah," because
I never get that.
because I look different. And she watches our show, and I was so flustered. So whoever you were, and I know you are watching, and I'm trying to
I
find
said,
a camera.
did you ask their name? You're
No,
like,
because I got so, and I apologise, I got so flustered, and I was like, you watch my show? Oh my God, you know who I am? Oh my God, I look like crap. Oh my God. I was just so I apologise, and thank you for people who watch our show, because I forget that you just forget. And
we've got some exciting guests coming out in the next few weeks, like it's Mick Crayburger.
Ooh, I
Mick
love
Crayburger.
watching your show. The last few I have so enjoyed. Tracy Manu, Christine Sheehy.
It's trying to trump the next one. Like, we're like, shit,
How are we going to trump Claire?
and then people are like, I don't want to come on after that person. They're too big to trump. So
Oh yeah, that's totally true. Well, we better end the show because
Yes.
we have passed 9 o'clock. But thank you guys for joining us. Please share out our show. And if you guys have any questions, jump on our pages. Just so you know, our show goes live on Nat's page as well as mine. So it's Natalie Tolhopf, Business Coach, or Pauline Stockhausen. Not on my personal, it's on my business page. So you have to actually go to pages to find it. I've had a few people say, you're not my friend, I can't watch your show. Also, go head over to Make, Give, Live Facebook page. Go check out their website. And, if you're really looking for a charity to get involved in, then this is the one that I think you should get involved in. Well, it's not a charity, but it's, to give back. And that's it. We'll
the
see
show.
you guys next week. We'll see you next week.
I know. And I was like,
I was going to say something else, but I couldn't remember what the words were.
and that's the show.
That's the show.